New York State lawmakers just got a big pay raise, a $30,000 bump up to $110,000 this year. That makes them all equal salary-wise, but some are more equal than others thanks to some very big stipends, and you paid for it. Lawmakers are getting a big pay raise now, but most aren't getting stipends anymore. Before this year, virtually all lawmakers were classified as leaders. Deputy and assistant leaders and whips and chairmen abounded. And all of those so-called leaders receive stipends, extra pay. Every single member of the Senate and more than two-thirds of the Assembly were eligible for a stipend on top of their nearly $80,000 a year salary.
This is a joke. This is a joke.
But for years, some in the legislature said that was not enough. This is former Senator Eric Adams.
Show me the money. We deserve more money.
Finally, this year, they got it. A pay raise commission graced lawmakers with a $50,000 raise, just over $30,000 this year, another $10,000 each of the next 2 years to level off at $130,000 a year. But in so doing, all but a handful of those stipends were eliminated. Local Assemblyperson Mary Beth Walsh got the pay raise, but lost her stipend.
Are you okay with the stipends being gone?
Oh, yeah, that's fine. If you're here for the money, you're not here for the right reasons anyway.
So who gets the big money stipends on top of that fat new raise? At the top of the fiscal food chain in the Senate, Majority Leader Andrea Stewart Cousins. A $41,500 stipend brings her annual pay right now up to $151,500. The Minority Leader John Flanagan right behind at $144,500 thanks to a stipend of $34,500. The Deputy Majority Leader gets an extra $34,000. The Deputy Minority Leader an extra $20,500. The top Democrat and Republican on the powerful Senate Finance Committee are also in line for stipends. The Finance Chair stipend is $34,000, but the new chair, Liz Krueger, will not take it. She has never taken a stipend.
When I first came in 2002, I took the position I wouldn't take the stipend because I never wanted there to even be the inkling that decisions I made had anything to do with my paycheck.
In the larger Assembly, there are 9 people getting stipends. Speaker Carl Hastie is now taking home $151,500. It's $144,500 for Majority Leader Crystal Peoples-Stokes, and the same for Minority Leader Brian Kolb.
When it comes to Lulu's stipends, are you thinking that possibly they should be reinstated?
Well, I think they should definitely have a public discussion and a public debate. And wherever the votes go, they go.
For now, the 15 high-powered stipends are going nowhere. Actually, make that 14 because of Liz Krueger.
If I didn't take a stipend, I never had to worry about it being taken away if I wasn't making someone in a leader position happy.
So instead, Liz Krueger makes taxpayers happy. The legislative pay raise and all that goes with it still facing challenges in court and in the court of public opinion. By some who think $50,000 over 3 years is just too much, and by some who don't like the fact that the raise is tied to a cap on outside income. I've told you about the huge pay raise that New York State lawmakers are now getting thanks to the pay raise commission they created. They go from $79,500 to $110,000 this year, $120,000 in 2020, and $130,000 in 2021. I'll do the math for you. Total raise, $50,500. Most lawmakers wanted a raise of some sort. A few said they were against it, but there is one who is fighting it in court, tooth and nail. Every New York State lawmaker is getting the $50,000 pay raise, but not every lawmaker is on board. Assemblymember Andy Goodell is a lawyer, and he's part of a lawsuit saying the pay raise commission that granted the pay hike was unconstitutional.
The Constitution is very clear that legislator salaries are set by law. The legislature, in my opinion, does not have the authority to delegate lawmaking authority to a hand-picked commission with instructions to give them a big raise.
The Pay Raise Commission's recommendations did not need to be approved by lawmakers. Goodell says that's so his colleagues could get their raise without getting their hands dirty.
It was all designed to avoid taking responsibility for the raise and being upfront and having your vote counted.
Goodell is also challenging the commission decision to eliminate most outside income. He says the state needs citizen lawmakers, people who deal in the real world of business, people like Republican George Amador, a builder, and Democrat John McDonald, a pharmacist. Goodell himself still brings in income from his law work.
To be honest, our legislature would be a lot better if we had a lot more folks who were citizen legislators, who had background in making payroll and dealing with all the business issues that we face.
Goodell has set up a bank account to hold all the money he's received from his pay raise. He is ready to return it to the state if he wins his lawsuit.
Does this lawsuit make you unpopular with some of your colleagues, sir?
Not yet. We haven't won yet. If we win on the lawsuit, yeah, there'll be a number of legislators that'll be upset with me.
So there you go. There are several other lawmakers involved in the lawsuit from both the Assembly and Senate. Some are no longer in office, but Andy Goodell has been at the forefront on this. We will, of course, keep you posted as the lawsuit progresses. By now, you've heard that New York State lawmakers got a $30,500 raise this year. What you may not know is that it's the raise that just keeps on giving. It means some lawmakers will keep getting more money for years after they leave office, and you paid for it.
It's a hefty pay raise, $30,500. It's also a hefty retirement raise. When lawmakers created a special commission that eventually put forth the big raise, they were also giving themselves a de facto pension bump.
We're going to have to pay more into the state pension system on each lawmaker's behalf because we're paying them more, and they're going to be collecting more.
A lawmaker's pension is determined by their salary in their final years in office, along with a number of years in public service, not just in the legislature, but also time served before that in local government. Higher pay means a higher pension.
This is a continuation of what we've seen from the legislature. I mean, these are folks who were just trying to pay for their time while serving the state, and they have increasingly tried to treat themselves as full-time employees. And with full-time employee status, they've been giving themselves sweeter and sweeter benefits over the years.
How sweet is the retirement raise? For a lawmaker who has 20 years in the pension system and had been making the base salary of $79,500, with a pay hike to $120,000, their pension would go from $31,800 to $44,000 a year. 30 years in this system, it would go from $47,700 to $66,000. The discrepancy would be a little bit less for lawmakers who had been making more than $79,500 because of a stipend. Most of those stipends were eliminated with the pay raise, but some leaders and committee chairs got to keep theirs. Assembly Codes Committee Chair Joe Lentil gets an extra $18,000 a year, meaning his pension will be based on a salary of $148,000 a year.
That's because I'm chair of an important committee, I guess, and if I give up that committee, I won't have that stipend.
Lentil says he has no problem with the pay raise that doubles as a retirement raise.
More money means a higher pension.
Yes, it does.
So this is the raise that just keeps on giving in that sense.
Well, it keeps on giving, and hopefully retirement will keep on giving, too.
The same reaction from the other side of the aisle. Senator John Flanagan is the Republican minority leader.
Everybody gets their pension. I'm not going to apologize for what I may receive, or I don't think anyone else who is in public service should have to do that. I'm grateful, but that's...
It's almost impossible to put a total price tag on the increased pensions. Not all lawmakers will take the pension or will be around long enough to be eligible, but it's safe to say it will be in the millions of dollars. The only way that could change is if a court strikes down the pay raise, and that is still in litigation.